Hi, it's McClelland, and the topic of this video today is the law of attraction takes action. The law of attraction is happening all the time, and you are taking actions all the time to create what's happening in your life. So what if you want to create something deliberately, something very positive, something that you want, and how do you make that happen very quickly? So I want to give you a personal account of something that happened to me, so it'll give you a great picture of perhaps what you can do to make something happen deliberately to you in your life that is very positive. Not that your life isn't positive now, I'm sure it is, but there's certain things that sometimes just feel out of reach and we want to bring them into our lives. How can we do that? So if you've listened to my video, There's a Jackhammer in Your Head, you'll know that I'm going through a personal transition right now. And where I live in Victoria, it's a very overinflated real estate market, very high prices, and thus there's a lot of people wanting to rent. So the rental market is, available rental market is about 0.3%, or something crazy like that. So I decided that at this point in my life, as I'm looking for a new place to live, it's better for me to rent than buy. And so that was my decision, but I haven't rented in years. I've been a homeowner for years, and I'm looking for the best place for myself and my children. I have two beautiful daughters. And so I'm starting my journey about 2 months ago looking for different places, and I made my list. That's the first action I took. I made my list of specific things that I wanted in this new home. And then I went out and I started looking. That's another action I took. I made appointments, I started looking at places, and when I would come home, what would I do? I'd be heavily disappointed, and I would be frustrated because I wasn't finding the right place. And then I'd have some anxiety because I have had some deadlines and some time limits, and I would create this emotion, this negative emotion in my body, which in fact would push away what I really wanted, because now I'm focusing on what I don't want, or what I don't have, or what I'm not getting, which unfortunately gets me more of that. So as time went on and I started to course correct my thinking, I mean, I knew all of this, but of course I'm a human being, I had to really course correct what I was thinking, what I was feeling, and deliberately spend time frequently thinking about the specifics I wanted in this home, the location, the price, everything that I wanted. So as time went on, things started getting better. The properties I was looking at were getting better, and obviously it was a direct reflection of the actions I were taking, being what I was thinking and what I was putting out there. So last week I found a wonderful place. I'm sure it was mine. I was very excited, and then I got a phone call from the landlord saying he had to rent it to his cousin. Well, I actually fell really hard. I was quite disappointed. But it didn't last very long, because I just sort of went through this emotional upheaval because of pressures in my life right now. And I had to go, wait a minute, I can't focus on this. I need to celebrate the closeness of the match. Celebrate, because that's the energy that is going to bring you what you want. So I switched over to that sort of process and allowed that to go, knowing a better place was coming. Then Sunday, just last Sunday, I was up early looking at a couple of the property rental sites locally on the internet, and I found a place that matched almost all of the specifics on my list. So I called. I was the first appointment Sunday morning, and I looked through. Now, I'm not the type of person who likes to make decisions quickly, and unfortunately in this market, that's what you have to do to get a place before the next person if you're the qualified prospect. So I asked the fellow, the property manager, what he wanted me to do, and he said, well, fill out this application and either fax it to me sometime today or we can get together. So I had a commitment for a chunk of time after I saw that property. Then I filled out the form, faxed it, and the fax wouldn't go through. I phoned him and I left a message. He called me back and he said, well, I've rented it to someone else. Well, I was in shock. I thought, well, wait a minute, how could this happen? I got very upset with myself for not being quicker, and et cetera, et cetera. And then I had to remind myself, anything that is mine divinely by divine right cannot be taken away from me. And that quote comes from a book by Florence Scovel Shinn called The Game of Life and How to Play It. by the way, that book was copyrighted in 1925. So these laws, I mean, are hundreds and thousands of years older than the copyright of that book, but the principles are never changing, and they're still the same. So the next day, after I switched my mindset again, I got back into focus. I said, I knew I needed to release any feeling, any worry, any concern that I was having. And I said out loud, another quote from Florence's book, "I now cast this burden of my concern and worry of not finding the perfect place to the Christ within," we could say to the universe, "so I can go free in knowing that I have found the perfect place for myself and my children." And so then I sat down and I looked over my list. I took a minute, I closed my eyes, and with emotion, positive emotion, expectant emotion, saw myself and my children in the place where we should be living. And not 30 seconds later, the phone rang, and it was the property manager from the day before saying that the deal that he made with the other person who was going to rent the home had backed out, and was I still interested? Well, there you go. Sometimes what we see right in front of us, we buy into. And you need to hold that picture of what you want very strongly, and you have to take specific actions. And if you're getting in your own way, if you are not having faith, if you're not believing it's going to come, there are a couple of great things you can do. You can grab Florence Scovel-Shinn's book, The Game of Life and How to Play It. I highly recommend it. She makes a lot of reference to God, but if you can just let that go and substitute the word the universe or whatever you want, just knowing that you can release that anxiety or that fear, that worry that you're not getting what you want, so you can deliberately get and create what you want. This works in any aspect of your life, relationship, business, anything you want to acquire. Please feel free to leave some comments underneath this video and let me know what you think about what I've said, any experiences you've had deliberately creating what you want. And if you want to call me and talk to me about it, I love meeting new people. I love talking about this. My phone number is 250-386-6472. If you want to contact me and find out about my business and what I deliberately attracted into my life and how I can share that with you, just, in my description there's a link to my business. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe, and you'll get notification of more videos about this topic, about creating a successful online business, and about how you can be a wonderfully healthy, productive human being, giving back to this world in many, many ways. I'd love to support you in that. So I wish you a wonderful day, and I look forward to your comments.